Hi, this is Marcia.
And this is Kelly.
We are the Two Ewes of Two Ewes Fiber Adventures. Thanks for stopping by.
You'll hear about knitting, spinning, dyeing, crocheting, and just about anything else we can think of as a way to play with string.
We blog and post show notes at twoewesfiberadventures.com.
And we invite you to join our Two Ewes Fiber Adventures group on Ravelry. I'm 100 Projects.
And I am Better in Motion.
We're both on Instagram and Ravelry, and we look forward to meeting you there.
Enjoy the episode. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Marcia.
This is a little different. We're actually sitting across the dinner table from each other.
Yes.
Well, not dinner table, the breakfast table.
Right.
Because it's morning.
Yes, about 10 o'clock.
We're not drinking alcohol. We're actually sitting here with coffee.
Yes, very good coffee, I might add. Nice cup of coffee. And Marcia's mug.
Oh, yes.
Is really cool. It came from Tolt.
Right. I think a year ago on the yarn crawl, I bought this mug from Tolt. So probably all the knitters in the city of Seattle have this exact same
Probably
mug.
So, yeah.
Anyway. But we're in my dining room. Kelly and her husband Robert came up for 3 days to visit. And you're headed to the airport today.
Yes, we return.
And
back to the life of the real world. Back to the new year. No more vacation.
Anyway, but it's been cold here. Has it been in the 20s? Like 20s overnight, 30s during the day?
In fact, SeaTac, when we arrived at the airport, there was quite a bit of snow. A lot of it was piled up from the snowplows, but some of it that was on the ground, maybe 2 inches. That doesn't sound a lot to people in Ohio, Nebraska, New York,
Wisconsin,
Massachusetts, Minnesota, Alaska. Chris in Alaska, I'm sure 2 inches of snow sounds like nothing.
But here it's that's a fair amount for us. So we've been having a good time. But what have you been working on?
Well, what I've been working on here is the hats. I've been making pussy hats. I have 5 of them promised. I'm sending them to Washington, D.C., and they are sort of donation type Christmas presents to my nieces, my sister, and my brother. So I had 5 of the hats promised, and I think I am working on number 5 right now and should finish it on the plane on the way home. Mm-hmm. So that's what I brought to work on. In fact, it was one of the very few, when you go on a trip and you pack more projects than you could ever possibly,
right.
Just in case you might run out.
Like my, remember I was talking about my Pismo beach socks? They've been to California how many times?
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, I made a conscious decision to only bring those hats, and I only brought the hat I was currently working on from a partial ball of yarn, and then two balls of the yarn. It's a Woolies tonal, and so it's a chunky yarn or bulky yarn. I don't know what the setting of it is, but anyway, I only brought the 2 balls of that. And I was a little afraid I would run out, but I knew we were going to be going to Tolt. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, well, if I'm desperate, if I'm forced to, I could buy something at Tolt. So, but I have enough knitting left for the plane, I think. So I won't run out of knitting.
Because there's nothing worse than being on a plane, train, car, whatever, and nothing to knit.
Right. So I won't run out of knitting.
Yeah.
I elected not to bring my poncho, my poncho adventure poncho, but it is coming along really well. I did the initial stripes, and then I've done the color work portion that has the multicolored kind of arrow design. So I've done that part, and now I've started on the center portion of it, which is basically stockinette with a row of reverse stockinette. So, but I didn't bring it. It was too much yarn to bring, too big. Yeah. And I have until February, so I don't have to rush on that.
Well, what is this, January 5th?
Yes, and the hats need to get in the mail, so.
Yeah.
So I prioritize that. What about you, Marcia? What have you been working on while we've been here?
Well, I've been working on a pussy hat also. I did not make the commitment to make that many. I'm just making one for myself because a friend and I are going to, I think my brother's going to join us too. We're going to there's a march in Seattle the same day in sort of solidarity with the march on Washington. So I'm making myself a hat to wear.
I should do that. I should make myself one too because we'll be going to the march in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I was working on the hat. I have another inch, I think, of the last bit of ribbing before I bind off. And then I was working on the poncho, my Rodeo Drive poncho. I've been working on that pretty consistently. So, and I worked on that in the car yesterday.
Oh, I heard your needles clicking behind me.
So, I mean, that's all I'm doing for projects, not very... But should we talk about what we've been doing?
Yes. The more exciting thing than our projects that people have heard about already is what we've been doing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, we had... On Tuesday, we had some things we were just doing, nothing very exciting yarn-wise.
No, but fiber... there's a fiber event that happened on the day we arrived. Marsha's looking perplexed. She doesn't know what I'm talking about. The fiber event was that her dog, Enzo, needed to have a shearing.
Yes.
So when we arrived, he was all, his coat was all in lock formation. Mm-hmm. They had all twisted into locks and curly locks that you could see. And then we walked down to the dog groomer, and we left him at the dog groomer for a few hours. And when we went to pick him up, he had been sheared and carded.
It's always a shock when I go pick him up, right? Because he looks so completely different.
Yeah, it's really the difference between a raw fleece, except he's not as dirty as a sheep,
right,
and a carded bat. He looks and feels like velvet when he comes out.
Yeah, because they blow out all of the curl, and so he does look sort of like velvet. But then, so that was on Monday, and this is Thursday, and already you can feel, he hasn't gotten wet, but you can already feel that the curl is coming back.
Yeah, it's starting to find each other and twist together.
Yeah, but we can see his eyes now.
Yes. But that was kind of cool to see the transformation in person.
Yeah. So, and then yesterday we did go to, let's see, what was that? Oh, Monday we went to the fiber gallery in the Greenwood neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And we didn't buy anything there.
No, I don't think we did. We looked around. We looked at the yarn. That's where you were looking for the yarn for your hat. And I mean, previously you had been looking for the yarn for your hat, and it had been totally sold out.
Totally sold out. I went over, I think it was like the 22nd of December. I went over there to buy pink yarn, and they didn't have anything. I mean, they had, well, that's not true. They had pink yarn, but it was the stuff that was, $25, $29 a skein, and I didn't want to spend that much money. But when I went in there was 5 women sitting around the table with a big pile of pink hats on the table that they had been knitting, and they were stitching up the sides and getting them ready to send off to DC. So
nice.
Anyway, but we did get, I did get pink yarn at Acorn Street Yarn.
Okay. But, and Fiber Gallery looks different than the last time I was there. It has new ownership, you said.
Yeah, new ownership, and I think this summer, I'm not 100% sure on that when it changed ownership, but they, it seems like they're bringing in some new yarns, things that I've not seen before. Mm-hmm. And then some things I noticed were in the sale bin that maybe they're, I'm sure whenever you get a new owner, they're going to change stock and everything. But, and it seems like they've brought in more sort of those little things that are not knitting specific, but they go with knitting, like more knitting bags, more, I noticed they had little tin boxes with stitch markers in them. And those also, remember we saw those, they're for blocking, but instead of individual pins, they're like a little thing that has like 5 pins in a row.
That was nice. That's a set of those was like $25 but that's 8 or 10 pins per. They look like little combs, but they have pins instead, and you poke them into your blocking mounts. Those would be nice. I like my blocking wires, and I think those would serve a little different purpose than blocking wires, but they would be nice.
Because isn't the idea then you don't get the single pin? Sometimes you get a point that you don't want. So So I thought those were pretty cool. And then one day we had lunch with my mother at the place where she lives. Oh no, I'm sorry. We had dinner. We had dinner, and then. Yesterday, we went on our yarn tour. We sort of made our own yarn tour. We made a special trip over to Carnation, where Tolt Yarns is, because Kelly really wanted to see that. And I checked the website to see if they were open, and it said they were open. But we got there. So, Kelly, this is, what day is today?
I think today is Wednesday.
Yes. January
4th of January.
Yes. And we're in the car. Robert's driving.
Yes. We are not recording and driving at the same time.
Yes. We just went to Tolt to shop.
Yes.
And can you hear the sound of our voice? We're very, very down because they were closed for inventory. Robert's happy because we didn't spend any money, but we're a little down. And I checked the website before we came over here, but there was no mention of inventory. But they're closed for inventory.
Yes.
So
why do they have to take inventory?
They have too much damn staff.
Because they have to inventory all the stuff that we didn't buy.
I know. So all they would have had to have done is open the door, let us in, and then they would have saved their inventory hours by, I don't know, half.
They wouldn't have to count the stuff that we bought.
Right.
Anyway, so now, we were a little disappointed, but it just means that Kelly will have to come back.
Yes, I will definitely have to come back. Not to see Marcia. I mean, I don't care about that, but I have to see Tolt.
So now we're headed up to Duval to have lunch.
Yes, consolation.
But we're flexible, so we've made the plan now is after lunch we're going to drive down to Kent to Maker's Mercantile.
Yes, I'm excited about that because that sounded fun.
But I think maybe I should call and make sure they're open.
Maybe so. Anyway,
all right. So,
alas, no Tolts for us today.
Yeah, next time.
All
righty. We'll keep everybody informed of what's going to happen with the rest of the day.
Yes, you'll hear next about our adventures at Maker's Mercantile.
But maybe we won't even make it there. Who knows what will happen, because there are wineries out here, too, in this area.
Oh,
so.
Okay. Another consolation. All right.
All righty. And they were closed.
For inventory.
Yes.
We were so sad.
So
we peered in the window. I was kind of hoping that if we peered in the window and stood in front of the shop long enough that someone would come and open the door and let us in. But I understand why they didn't. But still.
Yeah, we really wanted to see it. So it just means another trip back,
right?
So we can go see it, and then
and Tolt's loss was another shop's gain.
Right? Because then about 10 miles away is the town of Duval, and there's a yarn shop called Quintessential Knits.
So Marcia, tell the people where we just went.
So we went to just 10 miles north of Carnation is the town of Duval. We went to Quintessential Knits.
Yes.
And Kelly bought something.
Yes, I found some very interesting yarn that I've never seen before. It's called the Loom, and the type of yarn is Risoni Original Silk Yarn.
Mm-hmm.
The Loom, Bangkok.com. And this yarn, 100% silk. It's kind of a dark acidy green color. Not that really super bright spring acidy green, but a more fall version of it. And it's a lace weight, and it's 150 meters, 25 grams, and I got two little balls of it.
Okay, and I bought Queensland Collection Llama Soft Cotton. It was on the sale table. I got 5 skeins, and it's interesting because it's cotton and baby llama. And I don't know what is this, probably worsted weight, don't you think, Kelly?
I think it's about worsted weight, yeah.
Made in Argentina. So I'm kind of excited to try that. It's a really nice, soft blue.
Yeah, and kind of a...
has a...
kind of a slatey, sort of a dirty blue.
Dirty blue, yeah.
I wonder if the llama is not white. And then when it's dyed blue, maybe it gives it that tint.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But it's very pretty.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what you make. Marcia's going to get busy because she's going to have it done by the Knockers Retreat.
Yeah, that's what I said. Famous last words. Anyway, but now Robert's been driving. We just parked. We're here in Duval. We're going to go have lunch.
Yes, where are we having lunch?
Grange Cafe.
The Grange Cafe. Okay.
All righty. We'll report in on that.
Yes.
So I went in there, and they had a lot of customers in there.
Yes, they did, and I think that's why.
That's why, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and it's a nice shop. And we bought stuff.
Yes.
You bought the silk.
Yeah, I bought some little nuggets of silk yarn.
Right, and I bought it was on sale, the Queensland Llama Soft Cotton, which is, I'm interested to try this. It's a cotton llama blend. What did we do? Oh, and then we had lunch.
Mm-hmm. At the Grange Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good.
In Duval, and that was good. And then we decided we have to be flexible, right?
Right.
And so we decided, I said,
and Seattle area has plenty of yarn shops.
Yeah. So I said I wanted Kelly to go see Maker's Mercantile down in Kent, Washington. And so it was about a 45-minute drive.
Yeah.
And we went down, and that's an interesting shop. And it's what would you call it? It's like the shop attached to the Scasel, how do you pronounce it?
Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce it. Probably Scasel.
Probably.
I don't know. But I would say it's the shop attached to their warehouse of yarn and needles and all of that.
So they
headquarters.
So they have a lot of their yarn, like is it the Kobasi is their yarn, and what else is their yarn?
Sueño, some of the ones that I can't remember the brand for what used to be called Petaboo. It's a sock yarn that has bamboo in it, but it's now called Sueño. So whoever is the maker of that, I think that Scasel has taken over that yarn line. So they had all of those. They had just about every variety of Zauberball that there is.
So they must have a connection with that somehow. And they had, every color and lots of every color, 15 skeins of every color.
Yeah. I was talking to Marsha on the ride, and I was saying, we've looked at a lot of yarn shops, and they seem to fall into two categories. And the one category is sort of like church mouse yarn and tees and like monarch knitting. That is sort of the open, clean, small amount of inventory, large amount of space kind of shop. More of the modern. I'm guessing. I think that's more modern. It was new to me when like Monarch changed to that type of shop, changed ownership and remodeled and stuff. And then this shop is more like what I think of as an older style of yarn shop where there's lots of inventory.
Yeah, like walls of like big and high fixtures.
Right. And it's not crowded. No. The Maker's Mercantile is not crowded because it's in a large, very large space. But they definitely have more inventory than most shops.
And they have a lot of things that are not knitting. They have those, you can make those hooked rugs. Is that they're the hooked rugs? And then you can buy kits where you can make bags out of the hooked rugs. They
have sewing supplies.
Yeah, they had fabric. They had a whole wall of buttons. They've reorganized the store since the last time I was in there. But they had, as I say, they have that whole wall of buttons. What else did they have? Oh, they had those. I've never seen these before. We were laughing about them. The little fur pom-poms, fake fur pom-poms that you can put on your hat. And then they had the fake fur cuffs.
Yes, those were fun.
That are, they have like a wire in them so that they just wrap around your wrist.
They kind of snap around. They remind me of the metal straps that are inside of purses, where you can open the purse, but then it snaps back closed. Yeah, those were kind of fun. I was wearing an athletic wear jacket, and I thought, this would be kind of a fun look.
Dress up your athletic wear
with some fur cuffs.
Yeah. But then, and they also have a bakery there too. So we had coffee and cookies and brownies, and
it's a gluten-free bakery. And I thought my brownie was excellent.
Yeah, I had a caramel and sea salt cookie, and it was very good.
It was good. Robert was not so happy with his cake,
right?
But I was kind of wondering why he ordered it, because it was grapefruit cake.
No, he got the raspberry.
Oh, raspberry cake. But it was white cake. It was white cake.
Yeah, it looked like wedding cake.
I'm not a big fan of white cake. I like chocolate cake.
But as we were leaving, you said you have to go look at the chair. So I have to talk about the chair.
Oh, do.
I think this chair is right. So it's just a regular sort of overstuffed chair, but they've taken, they felted roving, right? I'm assuming that's what and all these patterns and designs. Some of it looks like, so the back of the chair, well, and let me just finish. They've made the fabric and then cut the fabric and upholstered the chair with this felted fabric.
At first, I thought they just needle felted the existing chair, which I guess wouldn't work as well. But it's kind of appealing because then you don't have to have it be upholstered. You don't have to know what to do to upholster it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had some really nice stuff.
But it was nice because they must have planned it out so the back, or the place where you would sit was flowers, right? And then like the sides were different, and then like the arms were sort of just random blending of colors. It was really cute, and I think it had piping on it too, didn't it?
It did.
And contrasting, like not the felted fabric. I don't think it was another fabric. I think
I don't remember, but it actually looked like an upholstered chair.
Yeah,
if I had thought about it, I wouldn't. If I had looked at it more carefully and thought about it, I would have realized it wasn't.
They did say that they've had it a number of years, and it's still holding up because my brother being in this field with dealing with upholstered furniture, they always talk about like something has 10,000 double rubs or something. And what it means is like how many times you can rub a fabric before it starts wearing. Mm-hmm. And I, felt it. Remember we made those slippers? Yeah. The felted slippers. And that stuff would just, the fiber would just start coming off periodically. And I'd have to trim them a little bit. And I was wondering if that chair was that way too. They said it had been holding up and it did shed a little bit, but they would just go trim it. Yeah, periodically.
Like when you would de-pill a sweater. Yeah. You have to take the pills off.
But I was kind of wondering how it would hold up, but it was very cute. I could sort of see making one of those.
Yeah. Perfect studio chair.
New Year's resolution. We've got those 2 chairs at my mother's house that need to be reupholstered. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, anyway, so we went to Maker's Mercantile and then we just came home after that.
And what did you get at Maker's Mercantile?
I didn't buy anything.
Oh, that's right, you didn't.
You bought.
I did. There were a pair of socks made out of kobasi in fact, I had seen socks made out of kobasi at Quintessential Knits and thought, I need to try this yarn for socks. And then when I saw it again, that a striped pair of socks, really cute striped pair of socks in kobasi at Maker's Mercantile, and I have those 9-inch circulars. So I decided I was going to buy 2 50-gram skeins of the kobasi, and I'm just going to I'll make the afterthought heel socks. So you just do stripes around, carry the yarn with you. It's like 3 rows, 2 or 3 rows stripes. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to try that and see. It looks like they make really, really nice socks. And I remember there's another podcast, the Teaching Your Brain to Knit podcast. And I think it was Margaret who she was experimenting with cotton yarns for socks. And she, I think, made a pair of socks out of the kobasi. And I thought, that'd be good because I like my wool socks, but some days they're too hot. And some days they're too itchy. Mm-hmm.
Well, and the kobasi has a bit of a spring to it also.
Mm-hmm. It has some percentage of it is elastic. Mm-hmm. So
I think they had a sample and they look nice.
They were nice socks. So I'm planning to make those using the 9-inch circulars. Mm-hmm. I talked about doing the sock experiment with 9-inch circulars. So that's what I ended up with. Oh, and the third thing that I bought, I'll talk more about this after I've read through it, but in the last episode I talked about plying, and then Chris, Boreal Chris, or maybe it was Cindy, might have been Cindy, I can't remember. One of those 2 women posted in our discussion thread that Ply magazine, the most recent issue, was all about plying. Mm-hmm. And had I read it? And I said no. Well, they had it. I saw it at the shop, and so I bought that. I bought that issue, and I'm going to read through it and see if my opinions are supported by the experts who write for the magazine. Mm-hmm. And then I'll see what else is in there, and maybe I'll report back.
Yeah.
At some point, probably once I've read it, we'll use it as a prize.
Yeah.
Pass it along to someone else.
So, what else do we do? That's it, I think.
Yeah. Well, you made dinner last night.
Yeah. I mean, I cooked.
Marcia is a very good cook. She made pork roast stuffed with prunes and
apricots and dried fruit, garlic.
It was nice. And then the first night we arrived, was it the first day? Yeah, it was the first night. Mm-hmm. She made scalloped potatoes. No, scalloped potatoes. Potatoes au gratin.
Yeah, the ones with cheese. I think that's au gratin, I think. But anyway, and so we had that left over. So we had that and salad. And
it feels like it's been a busy... Well, we did a lot of car switching around.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of cars, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a little fiber related, though, is I am sort of cleaning out my mother's house in the process, and I have all these linens that...
Oh, yeah.
That I like, but I just cannot keep. It's just too much. So I had things I knew I wanted to keep, I've cleaned and folded and, pressed and put away. And then I had a whole box of stuff that I decided I was going to let go. I was going to have someone adopt them. And Kelly graciously decided to adopt them. Not all of them, but...
Yeah, I think I adopted maybe close to half.
Half, yeah.
Yeah.
But there was some interesting... Did you take the embroidered pillowcases?
Yes.
Okay, and then there were...
Not all of them. Some of them had really fancy lace on the bottom, and I left those. Someone will love those at Goodwill.
And 2 lace tablecloths.
Yeah, beautiful. I'll talk about those maybe.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little bit of research.
Yeah.
On those because they're interesting.
Some like little towels. There's doilies, little lace doilies.
Crocheted. I took some of the crocheted doilies. A set of crocheted doily coasters. A couple of crocheted doilies to join my grandmother's collection.
And then buttons.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
So there was not, my mother does not have the same number of buttons that Kelly has.
Small quantity, but nice.
Yeah. So I had just saved those out for Kelly to go through, and you went through and you took...
Again, about half.
Half, yeah.
Yeah. The bigger ones, the more interesting, bigger buttons are the ones I selected. A few of the smaller ones. A lot of the buttons were just like small shirt button size. I left all of those. So I have a small tin, maybe 6 inches diameter, small tin of buttons that I'm bringing back home to join my button collection.
So this will be interesting when you go through security. What's in that bag? Oh, all these lace and buttons, right?
The only thing, the thing I am wondering about is the double pointed, those Teflon coated double pointed needles. I've got 4 of them in my briefcase. I haven't had a problem.
I've never had a problem because I always, as I say, my Pismo Beach sock has gone. I always take a sock with me, and now I have bamboo, but I've never had a problem with those.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, if I lose them, it's not a tragedy. I don't think I will. Yeah, but
yeah, it was a good trip.
It was fun.
Yeah,
and we'll see you in California soon for Stitches.
Yes, Stitches in February.
Yes,
and
we will be there Saturday and Sunday of the Stitches. So it goes I think it starts the 23rd of February. That's a Thursday. I can't get off on Thursday, but maybe Friday afternoon, maybe Saturday morning through Sunday we'll be there. I looked online last night to see if there are any classes that were still open that sounded interesting, and I think I'm more interested in the podcaster meetup is always fun, sitting in the bar talking to people on Saturday afternoon, than the marketplace. There's so much marketplace. It takes 2 days.
Well, yeah. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
That's February, and then I'll be back down in April for the Knockers retreat.
Yeah, that'll be fun too.
All right. I think that's everything. Good trip. Thank you for coming.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having us.
We're sitting in the dining room. Robert's sitting in the living room. Robert, did you have a good time?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very convincing.
Robert graciously drove us everywhere.
Yes.
So, anyway, thank you, Robert.
Yes, thank you, Robert.
All righty. We'll be recording next week.
Yes, we will. Back on a regular schedule.
All right. All right. Bye.
Bye.
They have too much damn staff. They have too much damn staff. They have too much damn staff. They have too much damn staff.
Thank you so much for listening. To subscribe to the podcast, visit 2ewesfiberadventures.com. We have links for iTunes, Google Play Music, YouTube, and others.
Join us on our adventures on Ravelry and Instagram. I am Better in Motion, and Kelly is 100 Projects.
Until next time, we're the 2 Ewes,
doing our part for World Fleece.
They have too much damn staff. They have too much damn staff. They have too much damn staff. They have too much damn staff.